We are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our 5:30 service to Church Online. I hope you are well. Hope you've enjoyed today. The sun today has been out. Hope you've enjoyed that. My name is Nathan, and along with our pastors John and Louise, we will be your hosts for this evening. This evening's program, John mentioned it this morning, so a welcome back to anyone that was with us this morning. But something just popped up on my screen. I don't know if it popped up on yours. It just completely derailed me. What was I saying? Welcome back to anyone that was here this morning. Yes, that's it. John mentioned that this evening's online service is going to be a little bit different. So we've got a few different ingredients to roll out this evening. So I hope you're looking forward to those. This is going to be a completely different program to what we had this morning for Church Online. So if you wanted to catch this morning's service, this will be different. You can head up our Facebook page, the timeline, and check out. It's still available to watch this morning's live stream, or you can head to YouTube and it's going to be available there to watch. But one thing that we are going to do, which is the same as the morning service, and we always like to start our online services this way, is by doing something called the 1 minute mingle. We like to say hi to one another. We like to keep a sense of connection, even though we can't see each other physically at the moment. So what we do in this time is we take 1 minute just to say hi to as many people as we possibly can in the comments below. So if you know them, say hi. If you don't, say hi. And we're going to take a minute to do that. So the 1 minute mingle. John Louise, you are there. Hi. How are you doing?
Yeah, we were just having an argument, so no. We're good, thank you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I was prepared to fully do this thing by myself.
You were nailing it, mate.
You're doing great.
You got
Thanks.
in the, if you missed this morning, you were saying hello
Yep.
to everybody.
Yep.
I think I know what you missed. You didn't say the thing. You know the thing that we get marked on Mondays.
Ah, correct. Here at One Church, we are all about growing you to live big, which we're going to explain a little bit later on in the program. Well, just what that means. But yeah, no, I'm glad you're with me. I'm glad I was feeling a bit lonely there. But we're gonna. Are you okay to start a 1 minute mingle?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Always
Absolutely.
A good 1 minute mingle.
So the 1 minute mingle starts now.
Here we go. So
It should be a timer coming up on.
Say hello to as many people as you can. I'm going to cheat, so I'm going to say. Hi,
Ian.
Neil, Kyra,
Holly.
Lauren,
Deb.
Laura,
Good to see you, Lauren.
and
really
I'm
good
winning.
to see you. Ash.
Julie Allen,
Benjamin. Good to see you.
Zoltan, Keith, Brandon, so good to
Neil.
see you. Marion, Lewis,
Nathan, you're watching. Good to see you, Nathan.
Adam, happy birthday. Good to
Yes,
see you.
happy
as well.
birthday, Adam. Lisa Daniels.
Jose, Amy, Miles, Debbie, it's good to see
Keith,
you
good
guys.
to see you, Keith. Look, you just can't do this.
I'm blatantly
Stephanie
winning.
Wetzel from America. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Keep going, everybody. The idea is just say hello to as many people as you can, even if you don't know them. I'll tell you why. Every time we do this, someone lets us know they got a hello or a welcome from somebody that they didn't know, or someone that they're missing. So that's why we do this. You've got 10 seconds. Get one more in, everybody. One
See
more
how
in.
competitive we are.
10
I
seconds.
don't know if she's watching, but also happy birthday to Michelle as well. Michelle Andrews, her birthday today.
3 seconds. 2, 1. Time up. Right, loads of people.
Nathan's just watching.
Did you get any in, Nate? Because you have got a bit of a reputation for being a bit slow on the minute mingle.
So I was especially excited to do this today because I've managed to get a different device. We've got the family iPad here. So I jump on it straight away. I say, hey, like this. I'm logged in as the church account, aren't I? So the official One Church account is just on as saying, hey, like that. So I stopped after that. Like one day, guys, I'm going to be part of the 1 minute mingle and it's going to be glorious.
It did say,
Until
it did come
then.
up on my phone that you were watching.
We believe.
If someone knows how I can change that, then let me know. But maybe I'll figure it out. Who knows? We'll get there eventually.
So good. We love doing the minute mingle because it is a really good way for everybody to interact. We do this live because we're missing you, and we hear from you that you're missing each other. So the live stuff really does help us stay connected. So seeing the comments are really important to creating that feel. We can see the comments come through, so when you're saying stuff, it's really good to see. And there's lots of different ways that you can interact and be a part of the service today. So for example, if you can always like, share, and subscribe to the post. That means you always get to see it first, and it means that others can see it when you're seeing it, so people don't miss out.
Yeah, and if you turn your notifications on as well for the One Church Gloucester Facebook page, then whenever new content comes on, you'll be notified that that's there as well, so you don't miss anything.
Exactly, and there's a little thing that we love to do. It's called View from the Pew, where we love to see where you are watching church from today. So we were asking people this morning in the 10:30 service to send in some views from the pews.
Yes.
There were loads. Nigel and Lane, there was one that we're probably not going to show. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. Everyone's going to be going to look though.
Mm-hmm. But this lovely one, this was from Abby. This is Abby's View from the Pew. A nice kind of outdoor church experience.
Oh, that's
How
beautiful.
very nice is that?
It's
Very,
not that
very
we're
good.
nosy. I mean, I am nosy, but it's so we can sort of connect with you and see where you're having church today.
Definitely. So if you have a view from the pew, take a photo, put it on your social media, whether that's Instagram or Facebook, tag us in it or just send it to us. We do love to see them, and we can show a few more next week.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Thank you, John and Louise. So as I mentioned, this evening, we're going to do a few different things, and we're going to launch something tonight, which is going to be especially for our evening service. I don't know if you know this about our pastors, John and Louise. They come across, they're lovely people, they're pastoral. We're incredibly lucky to have them as our pastors, but they are very competitive. And we thought it only right. We're going to have a little bit of fun in the evening service, but we are going to show you just how competitive they are, and we're going to launch a segment of our 5:30 service, which we're going to call J versus L, John versus Louise. We're going to put them head to head each week in various different games and things like that, challenges, trials, tasks, to see who comes out on top victorious. So J versus L, and we want this, so this is going to be a bit of fun. Are you guys good?
We are good. I've just got a little visitor. That's all. I've got a daughter that's just arrived, just to say hello. She is only in her pants, so we will. Right, can you get?
That's great. I mean, I was building up this epic introduction. It's okay.
Talk us.
We are very competitive.
Yeah. Talk us through the games, Nath, and then I'll tell you that I'm going to win 3-0.
Brilliant. Yes, quite right, John. So we're going to have 3 quick games, 3 quick challenges that John and Louise are going to face one another on, and we want you to be involved as well. We want you to play at home. You can put your comments. There's going to be different rounds that you can get involved with. The first round is going to be Pictionary, and you can put in the chat below what you think it is I'm drawing, and it's the first one to guess what I'm drawing out of John and Louise will win. The second round is a quick.
You won't.
How do I win again?
Pictionary, Louise. Pictionary. You have to guess what I'm drawing. The first to guess correctly wins.
How do you play Pictionary?
No, do I just shout it out?
Yes.
Yeah, right. I thought you said that in the chat below. I just was making sure. I was just getting a card for my daughter because she wants to
That's all good.
a card for us.
Yeah, good luck.
That's
Louise.
round 1. Are we both clear on the rules of Pictionary?
I am.
Fantastic. Round 2 is a quick rapid fire trivia quiz. So only 3 questions. 2 of them are leaning to your area of speciality. The other is just general. So you all have. It should be fair, this quiz. Again, you can put the answers below, but this one it's going to be the quickest person to effectively do a buzzer. So if you can be ready with a buzzer noise or just like a gesture, and then perfect, Louise. Thank you. Give an answer. That's round 2, and then round 3 is a excellent feature which we're going to call "What's in My Hat," and we'll get to that later on. But effectively, the clue is in the title. You have to guess what's going to be in my hat. Are you ready? J versus Al, John versus Louise. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes, we're just clearing so we can see you properly because we've got.
That's okay.
Right, we're ready.
Round 1, Pictionary. What am I drawing? Here we go.
A house, a window,
a laptop, a suitcase.
Drawing a box with 2 boxes, a rectangle. Mate, that's really impressive.
Right, yeah.
Drawing, I can't see what that is. A washing line. It's.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, windows.
It's really good.
There's 2 windows on one side. And
Can you guess at home what I'm drawing?
Our faces. I just realised what my face looks like.
It's page 7 from an IKEA flat pack. instruction book.
It's an internet cable on the outside of someone's house. What is it?
Mate,
Ethan. It's really good.
You can't say if it's good if you don't know what it is.
It's a light switch. It's a light switch. It's
Is that a plug socket?
what is it?
I don't know. I'm going to look at the comments. Can I look at the comments? Cheat.
No, you can't.
No one else knows either.
No one knows, Nathan. No one knows.
Okay. I think maybe I went a bit too complicated with the angle here. This is a TV.
Oh, view from the
Two
pew.
people. View from the pew. Thank you.
Yes.
Right.
1-0.
John,
Nathan,
that goes to you.
Yeah.
Next time I'm just going to draw a cow or a football, okay?
Yeah.
This is round number 2. Here we go. This is the trivia round, so
Okay.
get ready with your buzzers, guys. John, what's your buzzing noise?
Uh-huh.
Louise? Excellent. Strong buzzer noises. Question 1.
She's got a hand
Name
on
the
my leg,
difference.
like she's holding me back.
Here's where the competitive comes out. No physical abuse now, guys. You ready? Name the difference between a manicure and a pedicure.
Uh-huh.
I think that was John.
Manicure is hands, pedicure is feet.
That's 1 to John. Okay, sorry, Louise. That was your area of expertise in case people were guessing. Question number 2. On which mountain did Moses receive the 10 Commandments?
Uh-huh.
John again, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sinai.
Sinai, correct. Thank you, John. And then this is the last one. This is just for fun. Guys, you can put it in the comments if you can
It's
beat
just for fun
either
because
of
I'm
these
already
guys.
winning 2-0 in this round. That's why it's just for fun, babe. Go ahead,
Which
Nathan.
cartoon dog has the initials SD on his collar?
Scooby-Doo.
Yes, Louise. Well done.
It's violent.
And this is the third and final round. We will be keeping score as the weeks go on, so it's the rounds that count. This one is my favourite, the one that I'm most excited about. What's in my hat? If you can invent a jingle for this and send it in, we'd love to play the jingle. We'd love to hear that.
Great.
I've come up with a rhyme. If you can turn this into a song, so like, what's in my hat? What's in my hat? Is it this? Is it that? Put it in the chat. What's in my hat? Okay, so
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
gonna wear the hat.
You've got too
give
much
you a
time,
short
yeah.
clue, and then it's the person that can guess it the closest. It's going to be on my head. Okay, 2 seconds.
Oh.
I'm unclear as to why it has to be on his head.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, the clue, I am used to find cattle and to brighten up samba music. What am I?
A cowbell.
Oh, Louise! Straight away. I am indeed a cowbell. Fantastic.
I'm used to brighten up samba music.
That was how I got it.
That's fun.
Excellent.
Sounds great.
Well done, John Louise.
Amazing,
That has
Hannah.
been Jay versus Al. We hope you enjoyed it. How did you do in the chat? How did you do in the comments? Can you see any comments, guys? Can you see how people did?
Not his hair
Can I?
under the hat.
Sorry, we're missing. We're in the lead here.
It was only a matter of time if it was a hair-related comment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There was a lot of people saying view from the pew. They obviously got it
Thank
way
you.
before I did.
It's a pew. Thank you.
Yeah. You just didn't tell us who won. I won, right?
John, yes, you did take the. Today you have won. John is the winner,
Today.
everyone. Jay versus Al,
Today.
round 1.
I live to fight another day.
You live to lose
Come on.
another day. I'm well happy with that. That's good. That's easy. I even got the question you were meant to get right. I got
Well,
right as well.
I think it was just a delay in the sound, and actually, my buzzer finished before yours ended because yours is so long.
Sure, I just win more. It's fine. Hopefully that'll be a weekly feature. Not
That's
just
very
the
good, Nathan.
competition, but because a number of reasons. Because I'll get to win more, and I think it'd be great to see some more of your drawing as well.
It's a good drawing.
It's very complex.
Oh yeah,
it's very complex. It's good.
He sent a picture of that. We'll put it online later.
All right.
So good. So I hope you're enjoying our 5:30 service, which is different to our 10:30 service. So if you did miss this morning, you might want to go onto Facebook later and replay that or watch it on YouTube. This morning, Amy J did an amazing message as part of our home series. Our home series is our current series at One Church, which is all about how God makes his home where your heart is, and he is making his home in your heart. And we wrote this series specifically for this time that we're in, when we're all in our homes, believing that he is making his home in your heart, which means your homes are becoming churches, so in our families, and these are places that the extraordinary can happen. So I really encourage you to go and check out the full message later. But if in case you did miss this morning, here is a brief summary of Amy's message, everybody.
So in this morning's service, I shared a message about how we've all had times where we've had to make plan Bs. So whether that's been you've planned an outdoor event and then the British weather has done what the British weather does, or you've planned to get your hair cut and then your hairdresser shuts, so you put your marriage on the line by getting your spouse to do it for you. We've all had times in our lives where we've had to make a plan B. And this season that we're living in right now can feel like one big plan B. So plans are being cancelled, holidays are being cancelled, birthdays are being celebrated online, and this plan B can have some devastating effects for people. But we looked this morning about how God's plan A is still active in your plan B, and how God can still outwork his plans and promises and purposes for your life, even in the midst of plans not going how we expected or as we hoped they would. So that message is available for you now. Either go back to the service from this morning, or it will be online for you to have a listen to. God's plan A is still active in your plan B.
Fantastic. I love that. So good.
It really was an excellent message.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Cool. So what's different then about this service? Well, in this section of our service, we're going to be introducing some different people. Sometimes it might be one of you that we'll be introducing. Don't worry, they won't be by surprise. Quick,
turn on the screens.
Just people like quickly doing their hair in case the camera suddenly turns on. But we want to introduce some brilliant people to you, and we're going to do that in this section. And this week we are showing a friend of ours. It is Andy Aston. Andy and Sarah are the pastors at Arise Church in Kings Wimford. We have some great links with their church. Their young people are part of Uprising Youth Camp. We connect with them in the coaching network and a bunch of different things. And they're just some quality really people.
And they're good friends.
They are. And we thought that you would like to hear from them and see Andy and listen to what's going on in Arise Church during lockdown. So I recorded this earlier in the week, and here's our conversation with Andy Aston.
There we go. Oh, no sound.
Senior leader at Arise Church in Kings Wimford, all the way up there in the Midlands, just kind of 30 minutes or so outside of Birmingham. And so I've been leading Arise since January 2016, I think. I think it's that. I've got to that point now where I'm not quite sure. It's like my child's ages. I'm not quite sure who's what age, but I think so it's 4 years in January just gone, and so we've been leading, myself and Sarah, my wife, and it's been an incredible adventure, and obviously we're now in an even bigger adventure. So it's great to be here with you guys. Thank you so much, John, for inviting me on.
No worries. It's good to hear from you, and we just wanted to remind ourselves that our world is bigger than our homes. Our world is bigger than our church and our immediate community, and this is helping us connect with you. But 2 young kids. How's home life at the moment, juggling all of that?
So we've got 2 little girls. Eden is 6, and Zara has had a lockdown birthday. So she was 3 a couple of weeks ago, and it's just been, we've become obviously we were parents before, but we've become teachers, and neither of myself or Sarah have got any teaching background, so we're kind of we're just basically winging it and doing our best to keep our children stimulated, educated, and alive.
You've said you've used a lot of we language in that answer, but is it true that you've actually been banned from any of the homeschooling activities?
Yes. So I'm at church at the moment. I'm in our church building, basically because Sarah kicked me out and said, "Andy, you're too much of a distraction. The kids misbehave when you're around. So during the day, can you please leave the house so I can get on with teaching and looking after the children?" So here I am. Here I am.
That is going to get such like a mixture of responses. There's going to be there's like half of the people are looking at their other halves now going, "Don't you dare even think about suggesting that." And then there's like another half of people going like, you have found like heaven. You've found what's the secret? How did you manage this? How did you wing this? This is tell us your secrets. Mate, it's so good to be on with you, and obviously we wanted to kind of see how you guys are doing, but also for Arise Church, Kings Winford. You know, we're all trying to get used to something that's a totally different normal right now. I'm sure it's the same for you guys, where we have got people who are key workers on the front line, people in, you know, ICU and COVID wards, teachers, funeral directors, and everything in between. What's it like for you guys? How has this whole lockdown pandemic thing impacted Arise Church?
Sure. Yeah. Well, first, just let me pass on my love and hellos from everyone at Arise. We're just so thankful for the relationship that we have with one church and across all levels of church, really. And so, yeah, big hello from everybody at Arise. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it goes without saying, doesn't it? You know, the world we're now living in. If you'd have said 6 weeks ago that this is what we'd have been doing, we'd have looked wide-eyed at you. But you know, this is the reality, isn't it? And yeah, similarly to you guys, we have a hospital in about 5 minutes up the road from us. So we have a lot of NHS staff. And we've got GPs, you know, but then we've also got other key workers, you know, who work in the supermarkets and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just been such a 180-degree flip, hasn't it? And everything's gone online, and everybody's internet's slower now because we're all on it all the time. And yeah, but as a church, you know, we are, I guess we're juggling that desire to still kind of feed the people in terms of who would call Arise Church their home, whilst also being on hand and ready to respond to the needs of, you know, the local community. You know, I really do think that this is, you know, although this is a moment that we would have never have asked for, I think this is a moment that the church was absolutely created for, and I'm just really excited already of what, you know, of what we and yourselves and other churches have been able to do in our local areas, but also what's to come as well. I think it's an incredibly exciting time, and you know, obviously not without its challenges, but you know, incredible time, really.
I think some of the best stories have been individuals we call it one another. So many stories popping up. So when we first one of our first things we set up was the opportunity for people to respond and say, like, I need help, and then people to volunteer. So, well, I can help. And the idea was we just match those up. Yeah. And what we found is we thought there'd be loads of activity on that. And we've had, obviously, there's people that have used that, and we've been able to connect people with people that can help. What we really found was loads of it was already happening. We were almost too late to it. And we set that up after about 3 days of being in London, thinking like, let's try and get ahead of it. People just responded really, really well. And like you say, not just to people that they feel like they have to because they're Christians, or people they have to because they're in their life groups and grow groups, or team members, but neighbours and beyond. And it's been incredible. There's been some ways in which in which the church have responded really well at Arise Church?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, similarly, I think we so about 12 months ago, we started on the journey of getting everybody onto Church Suite, which I know you guys have been on that journey recently as well. And so we didn't have any sort of database other than an Excel spreadsheet with everybody's details on, which is a huge GDPR issue. But so we moved everybody over kind of May, June time last year. And we also put in place a new pastoral system for our small groups. And those two things, when you look back, you just think this is a good thing to do. This is going to be a healthy thing for the life of church, for everybody within it. You don't realise, do you, then, when you look back now, you think, thank you, God, that we did that, because that has given us a platform to care for people to a much better degree. And so we're so grateful that we managed to pull that off and get that through last year. And so what have we been able to do? I think the thing that's been so beautiful is the way that everybody has looked after each other. Obviously you can do so much as a leader to kind of facilitate that care and to facilitate and put systems in place to help people care for one another. But it takes that moment, doesn't it, for somebody to decide to step into that space. And so we've just been really, really chuffed with how people have responded, not only to people within the church, which is obviously great, but just the way that they're kind of looking after their streets. They're making sure that the vulnerable people in their streets are looked after. People that they work with and all that kind of stuff. Just, I think it's people being the church in their sphere, in their world. And it's just beautiful, isn't it, to see and to get those stories kind of coming back of just those what we would class, I guess, as small, because they're just one person to one person, but actually the impact for those individuals is just huge, isn't it? And so amazing stuff that's coming through, really.
Yeah, that's profound as well. It's not small because it's one person. It's huge because it is one person. That's really good. Just one more thing. Tell us about the food banks. You've been a food bank. You used food bank for quite a while as a church, but a new opportunity has come through there, hasn't it?
Yeah. So the Black Country Food Bank, obviously there's food banks all over the nation, isn't there? And so the Black Country Food Bank, we have been a drop-off point for food donations for a good few years now. And but because of the facility that we have, we're not able to kind of be a distribution point or anything like that. We just don't have the space within the building, unfortunately, at the moment. But what's been great is obviously with the needs that have been arising and all that kind of stuff, we've been able to, and we've been asked to be a hub and a distribution hub. And obviously the building's now not being used. So it's brilliant that we get to do that. And so next week, so just in a few days' time, we're getting all the people are coming to do training and all that kind of stuff. And we've pushed it out to the church in terms of volunteers to not only kind of man be in the building and for anybody to come in and have food parcels, but also drivers that can take out deliveries of food parcels to those that are vulnerable and aren't able to get out. And so that, that is just such an incredibly practical way that the church can be the church, and so that's really cool. So we're really excited to kind of step into that in the next few days, because I think there's that natural tendency. I don't know whether you guys found this, but when there's such a moment like the one that we're in, such a huge crisis, there's constantly thoughts of, we could do that, we could do that, we could do that, we could do that, and naturally you go to a place that you just can't sustain or manage with the resources that you have, but you want to do as much as you can. And I think one of the things that I'm glad we did is that we didn't overcommit at the beginning part. We just got ourselves into position so that when the local council came, or when the local area, when the needs of the local area presented themselves more so, we were just in position, ready to respond, and that's really helped us. It's just bought us that little bit of time so that we can respond better. So actually what we then do is more sustainable, and you know, more achievable, which is obviously, you know, we're in this for the long haul, I think, by the sounds of things over the last few days, and so it's, you know, I'm just really grateful that we didn't kind of jump too soon. You know, we're in a place where we can do something a bit more sustainable for our community, which is really cool.
Brilliant, mate. That's really good, and good wisdom there as well. And I hope we can learn from that as well. That we can be ready to respond. The way out of lockdown is probably going to be easing us back into something else rather than it suddenly ending. And some of those opportunities are going to arise, and so will our flexibility and ability to respond to those as well. So
sure.
That's great, mate. That's really good. We're just coming to the end of our time in this interview, mate. So just wondered, is there what we are going to get out of this at some point? We are going to be returning to something that's going to be a new normal. You'll be allowed home again. There's going to be something else that's ahead, that's going to be bigger and better than where we are now. What is it about that you're looking forward to? What are you looking forward to once we're beyond however you
Sure. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's an incredible question, isn't it? And just for clarification, John, I'm not going to change the camera angle because that might mess up the recording. But I don't have a mattress on the floor behind me or anything like that. It is just between the working hours of 9 till 5 that my wife has requested my absence, just in case anyone was worried. So no, what am I hoping for? I think I haven't. It's been interesting actually, because we've been in a place where I feel like we're just about coming into a bit of rhythm in terms of church life. In terms of kind of what we're producing and all that kind of stuff, and what we're able to put out and all that kind of thing. And obviously when you get into that, you create a little bit of space then to look forward and create again and all that kind of thing. And so the first 4 or 5 weeks are just, you know, they're just manic. You were just kind of, you know, and so you don't have any room to think ahead, really. It was kind of week to week. I feel like we're kind of coming out of that now, which is good, able to create again and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that was rumbling around my spirit, I guess, over the last few weeks has just been, and this is, you know, this isn't anything new, I don't suppose, you know, we can see it all over Instagram and stuff depending on who you're following, but I think my desire, John, is that we don't go back to what it was like. I think our world is changing, and it will look very different when we come out of this lockdown period. And I'm just really passionate, you know, not only for us as a church, you know, but for myself as a dad, as a husband, as a human being. I don't want to go back to the way it was. I want to use this time in a way that's going to be productive and purposeful, and so that as I come out of this as an individual, but then also, you know, in terms of my family, in terms of leading a church, I want us to come out different, and I want us to define our normal. And you know what the normal is that we're walking into in our future. I really want to define that, and that's what's exciting me more than anything, that we get that opportunity to actually let's make sure that what we're taking into our future is the stuff that we want to take into our future. Right. And I'm really excited about that.
So good, mate. Absolutely. We're with you. Everybody from One Church, I want you to take a moment to pray for Andy and Sarah and Arise Church sometime this week, because we think you're amazing. We're fans of yours. We're so grateful for the connection our church has had, as you mentioned, our youth and stuff at youth camp and all the rest of it. But thanks for being part of this conversation, and it's been great to chat to you, Andy. And God bless you. I hope church was great today for you as well, and we'll catch up soon. Bless you, mate.
God bless you. See you soon.
So good.
Amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody
John.
got to see that. I think Andy's great, doing such a good job, and I'm glad you guys got to see and hear a few things they've been doing as well.
Yeah, it's really inspiring, actually. I really like all the stuff they're doing, like the food bank, and how they're really being an influence in their community. It's amazing.
I think what it showed as well was that they said they were positioning themselves, and I think and there's some similarities to where we're at with that. And I really do think that once we start seeing some of the lockdown measures relaxed slightly, and that will be ever so slightly, so that's really obvious, that's going to come bit by bit, and there's going to be some people that are going to be asked to stay isolated, shielded for a long time, and so I think there's going to be so many good ways in which we as a church can keep meeting needs and find new ways of getting creative with what we do, especially as we're looking at some of the things in our calendar and having to move those and change those. That does create space and time and budget even to do some of those sort of things.
It's quite exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Good. Well, there's something we normally do that we've done every morning, and we think it's so important. We wanted to keep it in the 5:30, and that is our key workers. We want to honour our key workers. We want to thank our key workers. There's loads of people that are part of our One Church family. Some of you are watching right now who are key workers in all kinds of different fields.
Yeah.
We're so grateful to you, and we do want to honour you. A little quick shout out as well to Diane, who's watching live, because Diane and her husband both work in ICU at Gloucester Royal, and she's watching now before heading off to a night shift. So
you did an amazing job, and looking after a little one as well in the middle of it all.
Yeah,
so
you have some nominations?
Yes, I do have some nominations. So, a few different nominations. First one is for Dave Miles. So, you may know Dave, you may not. He does a lot of our sound stuff, but he, as a day job, works in the labs at GRH. And is just like crazy busy at the moment, obviously with all the testing that's going on and trying to get results out to people. So like, Dave, we honour you. Thank you for the hard work you're doing, and with all the testing that's ramping up, like, thank you so much. The other one is Mary Almario. So Mary again works in the hospital, and she works on quite a few of the COVID wards, and has been like sending in loads of prayer requests. So like, remember, keep sending prayer requests, because we want to pray and we want to stand with you in whatever you're in, whether you're a key worker or not. Please, like, send in your prayer requests. But Mary's been sending them in for like her colleagues and different people that she's seen that's had COVID, and seen some great answers to prayers. Sadly, has lost one of her colleagues to COVID-19, which is just awful. But yeah, Mary, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for the prayers you're sending in and for the work you're doing as well. So incredible. And then last but not least, I've got one for Mandy Curzon, and I'm going to read it out because it was an email in. And it says, I'd like to nominate Mandy Curzon for honouring a key worker. Mandy is a brilliant nurse, compassionate, skilled and kind. She has worked as a nurse for many years and now oversees and coordinates a busy district nurse department. Although she is a very busy lady, she always has time for individual people, which I can testify for that. She's amazing. And myself included, the person who sent the email in, and will help wherever she can. I'm proud to call her my friend. And that was from Julie Jordan. So yeah, we salute you all and we honour you all. We think you're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
Yes, Dave, Mandy, Mary, those nominations are well deserved, and we think the world of you. Don't forget, send your nominations in. We want to read them. We want to honour our key workers, and that does come best when it comes from you. We would love to read those out. But we have one more for you.
We do. Well, we have a key worker.
Yes, exactly. Amy Bright is not just a key worker; she's part of our leadership team.
Hey, Amy!
We are super proud of Amy, who has come in her scrubs, the full costume.
Yeah, I'm in my pajama bottoms, really, but
yeah, we're joking. But Amy, like, so you work in at GRH. You've been there for quite a while now, and your job is actually in the offices as a medical secretary. So you don't normally wear scrubs. However, your work has changed quite a bit. So can you just give us a little bit of an introduction as to what you do and how things have changed since the beginning of this pandemic?
Yeah, of course. So I'm, like Louise said, I'm a medical secretary, and normally that just involves sort of being a PA really to a consultant. So you'll have to call me before you can get through to your doctor. That's normally what happens. And so we sort out all the appointments and procedures and diaries. And then about a month ago, obviously when this all happened and Gloucester Royal decided to stop seeing outpatients, we just had to change the way we were working. So I had to call hundreds and hundreds of people to change the way they were going to be seen. And yeah, just that sort of the way we worked on a day-to-day basis changed. And then a couple of weeks ago, we got told that we would need to be redeployed to the wards at Gloucester Royal Hospital. So normally on a ward in the hospital on a weekend, they wouldn't have a ward clerk who would normally oversee like answering the phones to relatives, getting orders for food, running around doing jobs, and they wanted to relieve all the medical staff that would normally do that job, so they asked us to go in that place instead. So as you can imagine, it was a little bit overwhelming when we were first told, because it was all wards as well, so it wasn't just the clean wards, but it was the others as well. So yeah, it was a bit overwhelming.
Wow,
definitely.
So it was. I think you said this morning, 95% of secretaries at the hospital were going to get reassigned from basically from a desk to a ward. Just talk through how your colleagues dealt with that level of change, especially with some of the, fear that surrounds that.
Yeah, so I think when we were first told, everybody was quite upset, just because you don't know what you're going into, really. And a couple of weeks ago, obviously, we hadn't hit the peak, and the media, all you'll really see is what the media tell you. And so, yeah, there was quite a lot of fear in the office. But the way that Gloucester Royal are operating at the moment is they've pulled not just the secretaries, but the doctors as well, and the nurses. They form in pods, so you turn up to a ward in this pod almost, and so you've got someone that's new to the role. So I was on last weekend in my gear. Yeah, I was there last weekend, and there was a new doctor on shift. It was his first day. There were 3 new healthcare assistants, brand new nurses. So you, as much as you're met with fear, you're also met with like a real nice community, like, let's get through this together, let's help each other out. So it's quite a strange thing, but it's kind of beautiful in a way, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have got a picture, actually, I think, of Amy on her Saturday last week. Yeah.
Saturday on the ward or Saturday night out?
Definitely
Saturday night out.
But like, wow, the reality of that, Amy, like when you never wear anything like that to work, to have to like get all like in your PPE and yeah.
Yeah, that was I had to take a sandwich order for that lady. So to go in, so normally I sit by a desk, but if you're going into an actual bay, you need to get full kitted up. So I had to ask if you wanted ham or cheese. So I've never felt so fancy asking that question.
That's amazing.
You're doing amazing, Amy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, you really are.
Thank you.
And like, so what is getting you through? Because like you are doing a great job, but how is that happening, and how are you getting through your days?
I think there's a couple of things really. So firstly, like the community that is church has just been amazing, and just to have like the texts and the encouragement and the prayers, you don't know how much it means to you, especially when you're going into that sort of environment and you're feeling a bit vulnerable. To have people, it feels like you've got an army of people behind you cheering you on. So that's like really lovely. So yeah, I'd encourage you, if you know somebody that works at the hospital or a key worker, just text them. You can't text them enough. Can't pray for them enough. So that's probably one thing. The other thing, when we were met with this, I said to, like, when I was praying, I really said to God, like, I just want a word from you. I want to hear something from your voice for me, because I knew it would just still my heart, and it would still my mind. And I just felt that God would said to me, like, you can't see this virus, but I can. So just let me operate. Wow. Let me be your hands and feet. Like, listen to my Holy Spirit when you need to wash your hands, when you need to move slightly. Like, so I just felt really at peace when I went in. I wasn't nervous at all. I felt like God had gone before me, around me, beside me, behind me, all of that really. So yeah, I felt that was really key. And then probably lastly, I've just had a verse that I've been reading. So Psalm 91 is like the verse that I feel like the world is holding on to at the moment. The version I've been reading is in the Passion Translation. And verse 4, it just says, his massive arms are wrapped around you, protecting you. You can run under his covering of majesty and hide. His arms of faithfulness are a shield, keeping you from harm. So yeah, anybody that needs that this week, take it. But yeah, those are the things that I think for me I've just felt so equipped when in the like natural, I'm unequipped for this role. I felt so equipped for it.
Amazing. That's beautiful. Thanks, Amy. That's so good.
Yeah, so good. Amy, we're so proud of you. I think you're doing a brilliant job. You've had to roll with so many huge changes, and along with all of our key workers that are working in all sorts of different industries and areas, We think the world of you.
Yeah.
Everybody's facing a challenge at this time. Some people in lockdown, some people in isolation, some people are sick, some are working under really unusual circumstances.
Yeah.
So well done, everybody. But particularly this week, we wanted to say thank you to you, Amy, and to Mary, and to Mandy, and to Dave. So everybody that's watching this, I want you to take a moment just to grab your device and in the comments box, just say thank you, or do an applause emoji, or do something that shows just a little bit of honour for all of our key workers this evening. But thank you, Amy. Appreciate you taking the time to chat to us today. No worries. Good to see you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
So good. Good, that, isn't it?
Very good.
I'm really glad we do that.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we see the other, hear about the other side of things as well.
Yeah.
And the thing that Amy was talking about of using Psalm 91, she actually introduced that. She said, "What I needed was a word from God," and I think that you can experience that in a number of different ways. And I think that's such an important approach to take when we're facing something that's different. When we're facing, especially fear or anxiety, or the unknown is surrounding us. Sometimes we need a perspective that's better than our own. Yeah. And you can be the smartest person. You can be you can have a high IQ, a high EQ, a high any other kind of Q. But what we all need at times is that faith perspective, and to take a moment at the start of a day, and just go, okay, God, what are you seeing here? And step into those shoes for a moment, just to see a different perspective can be invaluable.
Well, it's so easy just to start your day and just for it all to sort of an avalanche come upon you of like emotions and feelings and requests and WhatsApps and all sorts of things that you can just get completely bombarded by that. But actually to take that moment to go, no, right, God, this is, what do you want from me today? How am I going to do my day? Can just be a beautiful moment. And sometimes sometimes you don't necessarily have a word like Amy had, but you will have a peace and a knowing that you're doing the right thing and you're taking the right steps.
Yeah, absolutely. So good. Nath, you doing good, mate? Yeah, amazing. It's just so encouraging to hear from Amy there. She's doing an incredible job. All of our key workers are just phenomenal. And I think she gave a really good account of how God is really kind of underpinning all that she's doing. So yeah, really proud of you, Ames. That's awesome. And great to hear from Andy Aston as well. I'm really glad that you did that, John. Tracking back to earlier in the service, what an amazing guy, what an amazing church we have there. So yeah, this has been really good to hear from those different people. We're now just gonna move on. We're coming towards the end of the 5:30 service, and we're gonna tell you in a moment about what we're setting challenges every week, just to try and keep connected and get a sense of community going. So we're going to tell you a little bit about what that challenge is this week. But before we do, we have a short video from one of the guys in our church. His name is Ash. Him and his wife Jo have been coming to church for a few months now, and they're an amazing couple. And Ash does a lot of stuff online. He's got his own vlog on YouTube, which he runs. So we asked Ash to put together a short video for us about something that we can do, that you can do with your family, and it is really good. We also asked him to tell us where to find more stuff like that. So he's in his video, he's given a little shout out to the channel where you can see more of his content. But before we tell you about the challenge for this week, here is Ash with a short video for us.
Myself and my wife Jo have been part of One Church since January, so we're still relatively new to One Church. But you know what I'm not new to? Packet of Oreos. Now these are strange, uncertain times, aren't they? None of us has ever lived through anything like this before. And so, do you know what we need to get through it? We need Jesus. But do you know what else we need? An Oreo cake in a cup. Did you know that if you take a packet of Oreos and you take some milk and put it in a cup via the microwave, then you can make yourself a little cake? It's something of a miracle in a cup. It's similar. It reminds me of the time that Jesus turned water into wine, but this time I'm going to turn milk and Oreos into a cake. It's the best I can do. It's something fun to do with the kids, or even if it's Friday night and you fancy an Oreo cake, I'm going to show you how to do it. First and foremost, take a cup, not a big one, something like that, a little teacup, and pop some Oreos in the cup. So let's go with 4 Oreos. That's going to form the basis of your cake. In they go. Take your milk and you just pour your milk in with the Oreos, about half the cup. It's dead simple this, anybody can do it. Take your fork and you just mash. So they mush up quite easily and quite nicely. So there we go, all done. You probably can't see, I'm not gonna tip it too far because I'll spill it. That then goes in the microwave for 1 minute and 15 seconds. Let's go. While that's in the microwave, I just wanted to let you know as well that I've got lots of these food hacks and fun things that you can do with food in the kitchen. Easy cooking because I don't have many skills in the kitchen. I just do easy meals. And my YouTube channel is called From the Ash. Have a look for me and give me a subscribe. Microwave minute is always the longest minute in the world, isn't it? Hey, there we go, it's ready. I've done this before, but this one's actually looking better than the last one I did. Look at that. And there you have it. You've got your cake, Oreo cake in a cup. And it's hot, it's like a nice melt in the middle pudding. What I would recommend is let it cool for about a minute or so, then enjoy. Look at that, it's gooey. Oh, it's good. It's very Oreo-y and gooey. And you wouldn't know there was milk in there. It literally just looks like a cake. Really, really good. If you like Oreos, you're gonna enjoy this. Equally, if you like Oreos, one thing you can do, take your Oreo and just eat it. And that's it. That's my food hack for this week. Give it a go at home and let us know how you get on. And I hope you're all staying safe, not going too stir crazy at home. We're getting there, folks. We're gonna be through this before you know it, so keep going. Let's keep applauding our fantastic NHS workers on a Thursday night, but also applauding them throughout the week as well with our actions and by staying at home and doing our part from home. Stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you all soon.
That looked good. That looked really good.
My mouth is watering. Isn't that the greatest thing you've ever heard of?
Next shop, John. Buy some Oreos.
It's legit, right? Oreos are now an essential purchase.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we just wanted to share that gem with all of you, like, and let us, if you want to see more of Ash, like, let us know. I think that could be a bit of a feature that we could have in this 5:30 service. Just food hacks, things that we could do. Man, I want an Oreo cake right now. I've
eaten an enormous amount of custard creams. That's become a bit of a lockdown habit. So I'm going to try it with custard creams. Let me see if it works. Oh no, I don't want to waste custard creams. No, it's a valuable commodity in our house.
I think just go there. I mean, like literally, I'm finding massive empty packets by the side of his bed, and like the other day before he even got home from doing the shop, the packet was
just something to keep you going on the way home, isn't it?
Almost gone.
I've got a problem.
Yeah.
I've got a problem.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing, John. Do you want me to say about this week's challenge now?
Well, I think so, because we had a little bet on, didn't we, really, from this morning. So go on, tell us about it now.
Well, so the bet this morning, for those that weren't watching, Louise said to John, if we could get 500 viewers, then John actually agreed this morning to let Louise cut his hair. So if 500 people were watching live right now, Louise would cut John's hair. Now John was confident in that because that's quite a high number. We're averaging sort of 70 to 100. More people have been watching this evening, which is great to see. But just as this was going on, John and I were messaging one another, and the challenge for this week and what we want you guys to send in is lockdown haircuts. So there's been lots of haircuts that have been happening at home. Myself included, have been enjoying like cutting my own hair. What a challenge that is. But if you have had a haircut at home, if your wife has cut your hair, if your husband has cut your hair, we want to see the picture, the before and the after. Send that in. That's the challenge. But what John has agreed to is that if this service next week, in the 5:30 service next Sunday, if 200 people can watch, if you and I can get 200 people watching, John will have his hair cut live on Facebook live. I forgot what platform we were on then for a second, but John has agreed to cut his hair, or to let Louise cut his hair live on Facebook if you and I can get 200 viewers. Do you think we can do it, everyone? Like I am fully prepared to create 50 fake accounts right here, right now.
Can I just say I went for 500 because John started at 7,000. So to me, 500 was a good step down from 7,000.
This is going to be safe. We won't get 200 next week. It's worth saying.
I'm slightly nervous.
How we can it because
we can do it.
We get all like the kind of analytics of like Facebook videos and stuff, and because what happens is these videos appear in people's timelines, and as people are scrolling, the video just starts. And if somebody watches for 3 seconds, technically it counts as a view. So tonight, 761 people watched, but only for a minimum of 3 seconds. What we're looking for.
Still, I mean,
No,
I
no,
think
what-
that I think that counts.
What we're looking for is that consistent view rate. That's got to peak at 200 for this to be worthwhile.
Right.
How about this? If we get 250, I do Louise's hair.
Yes. Yes. That's come on. That's a deal.
My hair actually doesn't
Come on,
need
Louise.
cutting. My hair needs colouring, not cutting.
Wow.
You can colour it.
It's all gone a bit quiet over here, Nath. I don't know if there's like a delay or something between me and Louise, but yeah, there was a lot of enthusiasm about this idea earlier, but it seems to have died off quite quickly. But I'm up for that. If we get 200 people watching our 5:30 service next week, we'll have the clippers ready and we'll go live with a haircut this time next week.
I'm actually a bit nervous, but okay, let's do it.
You're nervous? You have no idea how to cut hair.
I just
literally
buzz cut
never
it.
cut hair ever before.
Just give him a buzz cut all over.
Oh gosh.
Louise, I've got some great advice to give you of how to do that really quickly. So, yeah. John, this would suit you, mate.
Yeah, I'll have a Nathan, please.
Oh.
You just need one bit. Can be there.
No worries. What we're going to do after for new people, Nathan, if someone's new that's watching the service today?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are new, if you're new to One Church, new to Church Online, what's going to happen? So we're going to finish our service, our time together in a moment. John and I will stick around, however, so there'll be a screen that will come up. On that screen, there'll be a QR code, which if you take a picture of that on your phone, it will link you to our various other content, which you can engage with throughout the week. After a few minutes, John and I will reappear. And we're just going to spend a bit of time chatting with one another. And feel free, if you are new to One Church or new to Church Online, you can stick around. And there's an opportunity where you can ask some questions. You can just say hi to us. We're going to be talking a little bit more about what church usually looks like, what we do, etc. But yeah, if you're new, stick around, and we'll just have a quick chat just after the service has finished.
Yeah, so good. We'd love to hang out with you a bit more if you're new. Just to finish, I want to read you this verse. Amy shared this verse in her interview earlier. Amy is our key worker of the day. And as she spoke, I felt that it needed to connect with our hearts. And I want to make this super practical. So I'm going to read this, then I'm going to pray over you. And then if you need these words, you need to find these words. It's Psalm chapter 91, verse 4. So if you have a Bible app, then find this verse for tomorrow morning. If you don't have a Bible or a Bible app, just Google Psalm 91 verse 4, or Amy's actually put it in the comments on our Facebook feed here. And just like copy and paste it somewhere, read it every morning, because these words need to get into your soul, and into your spirit, and allow it to grow you from the inside out. Okay, so I'm going to read this. I'm going to pray for us as we close our service this afternoon. Psalm 91 verse 4 says this: his massive arms are wrapped around you, protecting you. You can run under his covering of majesty and hide. His arms of faithfulness are a shield keeping you from harm. Wow. Father God, we're so thankful for you. We're thankful for our church. We're thankful for our friends, our family, for those that are serving one another. We're so grateful for all these things. And we just pray that the image of this verse of a huge pair of arms wrapping around us, so if those who need protection are protected, those that need safety will have safety, those that need to hide will be hidden, and those that need to be restored will be restored. I pray we receive these words from your word. Amen.
Amen. That's beautiful.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you in our new style 5:30 service. Don't forget, if you were looking for our normal Sunday service, then you can watch the 10:30 by replaying the video from earlier, or you can find it on our YouTube channel as well. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks everybody. And as Nave said, if you're new, stick around. We'll have a little chat in a few minutes time after the whole screen. So God bless you. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.